What's going on? Back at you with another one. This one might be a touchy one for some. However, I believe in order to be a better man, sometimes you have to, well, not sometimes, most times you have to face those tough issues. Find the resolve, figure out how to be better. So, today we're going to talk about the sexless marriage. Now, I'm pretty sure I'll have to touch on this a few times, being that most of my content is bite sized. But we're going to talk about the sexless marriage and how it pertains to sexual market value. Now, if you don't know what sexual market value is, you can go ahead and run a search in YouTube. There's plenty of videos that will give you a synopsis on what sexual market value is. But speaking of synopsis, I'll give you a quick one just so you can finish this video before you go check that out. Sexual market value is basically, in a nutshell, what you present or the product that you're presenting, which is going to be yourself, in the dating world or in the marketplace. This marketplace happens to be the dating world or opposite sex. Could be the same sex if that's what you're into, but right now we're talking about man on woman. So it would be the product that you present to the opposite sex. Now, for whatever reason, a lot of men believe that your sexual worth no longer matters once you walk down that aisle and say those vows. I have no idea where this concept came from. And I say that in I'm guilty of it too way of saying it. Not now, but I was guilty of it too. As I mentioned in my introduction, been married almost 8 years now, so probably somewhere between year 2 and 4, I just let myself go. Now, maybe this was attributed to, this was around the same time my wife was probably approaching the wall. If you don't know what the wall is, that'll be a different video. So stay tuned for that. You want to know what the wall is if you don't know what that is. But anyway, so this is probably around that time. And I think sometimes as men, we feel like it's some type of consolation prize to let ourselves go as our wives approach the wall or may have already hit the wall. And I want to tell you right now that if you're currently in a sexless marriage, that could very well be the underlying problem. You see, if your wife has already hit the wall or if she's approaching the wall, her self-esteem, even if she acts like she has the most self-esteem, even if she acts like putting you down gets her off, because that's what happens sometimes. You have to remember the bully was always the insecure one. So even if it seems that her self-esteem is sky high, you better believe her self-esteem is probably in the basement. Now, if you couple that with I'm talking to you directly now, the husband, with your sexual market value plummeting because you let yourself go, her mindset is almost like, well, why am I even in this marriage? Now, she won't tell you that. Most women will not tell you this unless they already have something better in their minds, something better lined up. Most of the time, they'll just go through the motion. And going through the motion will lead you to go through the motion. Now we're talking about roommates. And when you become roommates, the marriage becomes sexless. Now, understand this. It doesn't have to be that way. You see, if you were, in my case, if you were in shape when you met your wife, however many years ago that was, and then all of a sudden you got out of shape because you were trying to pacify her as she began to approach the wall, you see, she's going to lose attraction for you. Women are just as shallow as men. They just don't speak on it. You see, Women love a man that is virile, which is healthy, and stable. So a man's sexual market value comes from his health and his wealth. A woman's sexual market value comes from her age and her beauty. You see, age and beauty most times have an expiration date. Not everyone. Of course, we can't generalize and say every time, but most times have an expiration date. However, health and wealth do not. So that's why, men tend to appreciate or get better when women tend to depreciate. That is also known as hitting the wall. So that was a quick synopsis of hitting the wall. Now, as a man, as the husband, you want your sexual market value to always be high. Why? Because you might need it. The marriage may not last forever. Now, think about this. If your marriage fails, right? She's already probably going to hit you up financially. And then your sexual market value is trash. Now, what do you expect to get from that? Nothing but being alone and miserable, right? So for nothing else, for no other reason, your sexual market value should always be high just in case things fall apart. And B, as your sexual market value increases or stays the same if it's already high, your wife has no choice but to submit and succumb, because now her biggest fear is he's going to leave me for the newer and better model, the latest and greatest model. Therefore, trust me, the sexual well will not dry up if your sexual market value is on point. So once again, I close this video with asking you to look in the mirror if you're in a sexless marriage and ask yourself, how many heads am I turning when I walk down the street? How many heads am I turning when I'm grocery shopping? This is a better one too. How many women try to sneak a glance at me while I'm grocery shopping with my wife? You see, you think she doesn't see that, but she does see that. And many of wise men in the past will tell you, no woman wants to lay down with a man that no other woman wants. So please like, subscribe, and please share this video with somebody. If it's not meant for you, share it with somebody that it's meant for, because we all know somebody that needs this message. Be blessed.